Hey y'all, it's Kat from Kat Summer Charms, back with a very important video. I have not seen addressed anywhere, and I definitely have not seen it addressed in this way. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about artist block. And what does that mean? Have y'all ever sat down to do a project and you just stare at your canvas? You don't know what you want to do. You have a blank canvas and you sit there and you sit there and you're like, I just can't think of anything. I have no idea what I want to do. This is how you address it. So, starting out, we're going to start with a black canvas because I haven't really done that with you guys live. So, we're going to start with a black canvas, and here's the method that's going to teach you how to get over that artist block. It's called the snap technique. Sounds weird, right? Am I going to pull something back and snap it? Nope. This is what we're going to do. Any scene you want. You can take a picture of a nature scene. You can find a picture of a nature scene. You can use your background pictures that are on your TV, maybe on your computer, that come up when your computer or your TV go to sleep. You have that background picture. You can use that. You can use a picture of someplace in your house that you want to add a piece to. And how do we do that? You take a picture, and everything in that snapshot of your picture, that's all you can use for your art piece. So, your colors, your items, things like that. I'm going to show you some examples of what I mean by snapshots and pictures. So you can see in these that I put up, different nature scenes, different home interior. There's so many different possibilities. And this is how it works. Whatever is in that photo, let's talk about an underground photo or under the sea photo. That's an easy one. All the colors you see in that picture, pinks, purples, yellows, blues, whatever colors you see in that picture, you can use in your piece. If you see coral, you can use coral as an idea. You can use something completely different if it's under the sea. You can use fish. You can use other sea life, turtles, whatever you find down there, octopus. Whatever's in your snapshot, that's what you can use in your piece. And that is called snap art. And I saw that with a traditional artist, and I don't remember if they were doing acrylic, if they were doing oil, I don't remember. And if I did, I would give them all the credit for this, but I don't remember where I saw it. But I know it was on a regular art site, because I've never seen it used for resin before. So this is a way to get over that hump and that artist block where we have no idea what to do. And it's a great challenge for us. You know, they have these big artist boxes and dice, and you roll the dice and it tells you what technique to use and what colors to use and all of that. Well, for beginners, that really doesn't make a lot of sense. If you have not been formally trained in art, which I haven't, you don't know what a lot of these things mean, right? So this is an easy way to give ourselves something to use and get inspiration from, and also challenge ourselves to get out of the box and do something different that we're not used to. So I'm going to do all the prep work. I'm going to show you what snapshot I chose, and we're going to put it to the test and use it to create a new resin piece. So grab your drink, grab your snacks, grab your paper and pen if you want to take notes, but on the way to do that, give us a thumbs up so other artists can find it who may be struggling with artist block. I'm going to show you the cure after we come back from this break. I'm going to get everything prepped, ready to go, and I'll see you in a few. Hey y'all, we're back. I've got all my supplies together, and I want to talk about the different options that we have. I went through and showed you a few different snapshots, what I mean by snapshot, and how we use those pictures to get rid of our artist block and come up with some ideas or challenge ourselves. You know, sometimes we need to be forced outside of our box. This is a great way to do that. So I'm going to show you some color breakdowns and give you some ideas for the different pictures that I've shown you. I really used the, what do you call it? When your TV goes to sleep and you have that background screensavers. That's what I'm looking for. So when my TV goes to sleep, I have these screensavers that pop up, and I love nature scenes. So a lot of mine are nature scenes, or they're huskies. Y'all know I have huskies. So that's what our screensavers on my TV. You might have different screensavers on your computer. You might have just gone on a vacation and took great pictures of nature around you, some mountains or some seascapes, or, you know, maybe you were at a home decor store and you took some pictures there. Or you can go through a home interior book or a website and find some decor that you like coastal. That's an example of what you can do with a home interior. So take a picture or find a picture of a coastal theme room and build your art upon that, and it would be complementary to that style of decor in a house. Shiplap. You have minimalistic. You have, gosh, of course, everything's going to go blank on me. The industrial with all the pipes and things like that. Those all can give you ideas. So if you're working on a piece to complement a room in your house, to complement decor in someone else's house, and they give you that idea and you don't know what to do, go look up a picture in that decor design. And that can help motivate you and give you some ideas. And you don't have to copy these pictures exactly. And I want to show you what I mean by that. Now, I told y'all I'm doing the flower, and we'll get more into that one when we get there. But let's talk about the undersea one with the dolphins, the crochet undersea. So I pulled some colors that would be complementary for that. And it had, you know, bright neon pinks and yellows and things like that. You can make coral. You could simply create the colors that are in that snapshot and just do an abstract piece with the colors, and it would still complement that photo. Do you know what I mean? And by abstract piece, that's what I did. If you remember on that tray, I just took the leftover stuff from my oceanscape that I did live last Friday, all of that resin that was left over, and I just put it in that tray mold. No rhyme or reason, I just dumped it, and you saw how beautiful that turned out. That would be a great complementary picture in a, you know, a coastal theme house. So there's an idea for that. And now talk about the purple one I'm showing you. And I'm going to put all these pictures up as I talk about their colors. Here are some colors for the purple that I pulled up. These are great combinations. So if you have a color scheme that you want to use, or that your client has asked you to use and you don't know what to do with it, put that color in your search bar and put purple nature scenes, purple ocean scenes, whatever you want to do to find something to generate some ideas. That's a good way to do it. So that's that. Now, always, I told you I keep my level handy around my work area because I want to make sure all my pieces are level before I start pouring on them. And I check my corners. All that is good all the way around. So I'm good there. So I'm going to show you two different ways. And I have two different canvases prepared. And all I did was paint these with black acrylic, let them sit overnight so I know that they are dry. Because remember, acrylic is a water-based paint, and water and resin don't mix. So you can't use acrylic when it's wet. You can use acrylic to color your resin, but remember, very little amounts. Dip a toothpick in, color your resin. That's what I would suggest for that. So let me move all of this out of the way. I've got to measure up my resin, and we're going to go over the colors that I have and the different y'all, I'm having a hard time with words today. The different bases that I'm going to use for my colors. So like I have paste, and I have some mica, and I have paste in a bottle. Things like that. That's what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. That doesn't want to work. So we have this little baby one, and I'm going to do that in a little bit and show you two different ways you can use these pictures to spark ideas for your piece. So white, red, red, green and green, and brown and brown. So I have brown mica, brown paste. I love this. Y'all know I love this paste. So we have that for the stem that is in the picture. We have green paste, green mica. For the leaves that are in the picture, that represents that color. And here's my color cheat sheet. So when I see a picture, what I do first is I say, okay, what colors are in this picture? And I go through and I list all of my colors. And then what is the theme of the picture? Is it a nature picture? Is it an animal? You know, it can be both. Whatever you see in the picture, put in your theme. So this one is just flowers in darkness, okay? Some of the others I showed you were animals. A panther, black and white, gray. The undersea has the different shades of blue, yellow, pink, purple, all of those colors from the coral. So any color you see in your snapshot, and remember, we're only going from the picture, only what's in the four corners of that snapshot. So list all your colors and what your themes are. So underwater, ocean, dolphins, sea animals, coral, all of that would be your themes. So that can give you all the ideas of what you can do or come up with based on that. Now, we have these two. We have both paste for red, and like so we went over that. And I also have yellow for the stems of the flower. Where is my box I just had? Ah, there it is. It's hiding. Yellow for the stems of the flower. Alright, so I think that's all of our colors. Now I have to mix up my resin so we can start this fun project. Alright. And y'all see I have my brush. Anytime I start work on a canvas piece, I am going to set my colors to the side because y'all know what colors I'm using. It's in my little cheat sheet that I showed you. And y'all, really the biggest thing for this is planning. Write everything down so it's there in black and white and you can see it. And you can get a picture. I use the color hearts. You saw that. I can get a picture of the color combos, things I can do that will be complementary. So, first things, take our brush. We're gonna brush off any dust or particles that may be left behind because I don't want that in my resin, right? So I'm going to do the same thing for our little piece, which I'll go more into detail about this and set it to the side later. All right, let me move this. I'm going to move it this way so I have room for my little piece over here. All right, again, that's good. Now let's get our handy dandy scale, our cups. I don't want that. And I really like, oh, there they are. Oh, I really like those cups, y'all. You know that's my fave. Oh, I found one of my other torches. Wow, I didn't know I put it in there. Perfect, it works. Remember, we can use fire on wood canvas because it's not going to meld into silicone. We're not in a silicone mold. So, I have my torch ready to pop bubbles. There we go. Alright, get this out of the way. Let me get my resin. Hold on, y'all. Got it? Alright, sorry for that. I had to make sure I had everything that I wanted. Okay, so we are going to mix our resin up, but I have all of my cups that I need. That's for that. So I have green, brown, white, yellow, pink. So there we go. So I'm going to mix up my resin. Well, first things first, glove up. Safety first. And y'all, I don't know if you can hear in the background or not, but I have a purifier that runs 24/7 in my house because y'all remember I am on oxygen 24/7 because I have long COVID. I don't get a break from it. So we've invested in a air purifier for the house. That really helps. I also have some pipettes. I'll explain what they're for later. One I'm gonna leave small. One I'm gonna cut just the tip of that off. Ooh, it went prime across the room. All right, so we have a bigger hole. So we'll put those on the side. These are tools we're gonna use to make the stems of our flowers, or represent that. But first things first, let's get our resin mixed up. And I'm gonna mix up 2 cups, and you'll understand why soon. Move this. I'm gonna put 6 in each, so 3A in this. And I have my scale set to fluid ounces. That is the same as volume. So my resin will not have an issue not being accurately measured. So I'm gonna put 3 in here. Well, whatever is fine. And I use my handy dandy wipe. I wipe my spout off and down the bottle so I don't have any drips. Because when I put my lid back on, I don't want to run the risk of it being stuck there. And that can happen. Also, I only open 1 bottle at a time, so I don't mix up my lids. Too many people have had that happen, where they undo everything and they set it to the side, they think they grab the right one to close it, when in essence, they just melded their lids to the top of their resin. Because we know what happens when resin mixes together, right? So we're gonna bring this to 6. And we're gonna start our mixing. All right, move this to the side. Bring this up. Bring it to 6. And y'all, I do not recommend, and I do not personally mix a lot of resin at one time. If I have a lot of projects I'm working on, I do them in batches. Because if you mix a lot of resin at one time, you run the risk, and I'm doing the same thing for this one, you run the risk of flash curing all of that resin, wasting a lot of money, because resin is not cheap. So it is much better, much safer to mix your resin in batches. So I have 12 ounces here. And I'm gonna do this, and if I need more later, I mix more resin. So we're just gonna mix these up. And remember, I tell you guys, when you're mixing, see how this is getting cloudy? And you can, I don't know if you can see on the side, I can't really dump it that far. But on the side, and I'll take a picture, or show you a picture of cloudy resin. But you can see how it's all cloudy, right? As compare the two together. And you see the difference. So you want to mix this until all this streaking is gone. You don't see any more of these streaks. You want it clear, and that will tell you that it's done. And that can be 2 minutes, it can be 5 minutes, it could be 3 minutes. So time is not a factor. You stir until all the streaks and jellyfish, like I call them, are gone from your resin. You're scraping your sides down. You're scraping your stick off, because you want to make sure that every bit gets combined together, so you don't have any weak spots in your resin. And what do I mean by weak spots? Y'all have seen some questions in Facebook group about one area of a piece is still soft or it's sticky, and that is because a drip or a piece of part A or part B did not get completely combined when you were mixing. That's what I mean when I say a weak spot. So if you hear other artists say that, or they comment that on a post, that is what they mean. So, stir here. I'm gonna fast forward this part so you don't have to keep watching me stir resin. I'm gonna get all this mixed up, get it poured in my cups, get colors ready. And when we come back, we're gonna talk about a technique I don't think I've shown you guys before, but we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna talk about how we're gonna utilize this to also make a piece that complements the snapshot right here that I'm using as my snap technique to get rid of that artist block. I'm gonna get all this mixed up, you guys. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, we're back. I mixed up my resin, and I went ahead and mixed up my brown paste. Y'all see, gorgeous. I mixed up my white paste, and I will have links to all the colors and everything that I use in the description of this. So you can open the description, go click the link, it'll take you right to the colorant, the exact color that I use. I don't get any kickback from these, so there's that. And this one I wanted to show you. I put half a drop of red, the Teexpert red in the bottle. I put just a half a drop and about not even a dime size of white paste in here. And I want to see what pink we get, and we want to make sure it all gets mixed good. And this is dark. Darker than, well, it's not so bad. Once I start mixing more. Alright, I'm gonna wipe my stick off so I get all the paste off, straight down the sides of the cup, because y'all know they like to stick to the side of these paper cups. Alright, so that is a pink, which I'm alright with that color. And it has some streaking in it, which I'm okay with too, to give a little more definition. So there's the pink, and then we have our yellow. Oh, I don't want that there. Our yellow for our stems. And I'm just gonna put a drop of this yellow, and you'll understand after you see how we're gonna do this piece. Y'all, if you haven't already, take a minute, go give us a like. That doesn't cost anything. It really helps the channel, and it helps other artists find us. Because by you liking the video, it tells YouTube this is a good video for people to watch. So if you find these videos helpful, there we go. That's yellow. And you see, this yellow is transparent. I did not make it opaque. So there we go. If we want to make it more solid, add more paste to it. But I'm gonna leave it like that. And then we have our green. Now, I put in some of the green paste from the bottle. This is Teexpert paste, which I really love. Doesn't take a whole lot, but I'm also going to incorporate some mica. But I want to stir my green paste first. Get that done. And y'all, this is another one that's opaque. I mean, not opaque, it's transparent. You can see through it. So I'm going to add a little more paste. There. There we go. See how it's getting darker green? Scrape our sides down. I want to scrape my stick off. It's still transparent, but it's darker. And when I add this mica, it's really going to change it. So, I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to use, so you see I'm using Mayspring's Green Polymorphite is the name of this. Again, I will link all these colors, and that's all that I'm putting in here. Oop, I see a husky hair. So I'm going to set that stick to the side, close up my mica, because I don't want it flying everywhere. Set that to the side. Now we're going to mix this in with that other green and see what we get. And it's okay to experiment and mix things, y'all. There's not a problem doing that. I encourage you to do that. When you do that, I do suggest you either write it down in a journal or film yourself mixing it so you know exactly how much you mixed in case you want to create it again. You can duplicate it. So this is cool. I like the way this turned out. That's what I wanted. See that? Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna set these colors to the side. Set all my stuff so I have them ready. And I'm gonna put them in the order I'm gonna use them. Like so. Pink, white, and yellow I'm gonna set over here. Now, the first thing that I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna do a swipe technique. And I need to put some resin on my canvas before I do that. So I have something to swipe through, okay? So we're just gonna add that, and we're just going to spread this out. Take it to the edge. When I add more and when I start swiping, it's also gonna add more resin to the canvas. So I don't want to swipe everything off. I just want to take it to the edge. That's it. And remember, I checked to make sure this was level before I started. All right, now put that to the side. I'm going to use my torch just to pop some of these bubbles. I'm not real worried about it because remember, when you add heat to resin, you thin it out. I don't want this thinned out a lot. So, get out of the way so I can set my torch there. Perfect. All right. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to lay down the bottom brown for my stems that were in my snapshot. Remember, we had some stems at the bottom with some leafing, and then we had our flowers at the top. So I'm not copying that exactly. I'm drawing inspiration from it. And this is how I'm going to do it. I am going to go up the middle and pour some brown. Okay, and then I'm going to add some green, and I want that there. Now let me show you what I'm going to do. Swipe technique, you might have seen me use this before. It's just wax paper out of your pantry. That's all this is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my paper into my resin and make sure all of my colors are incorporated. And I'm going to slowly drag it out, like so. I'm not gonna reuse it. I'm gonna get a new piece, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And you want to, ooh, don't go in there. Go slow, y'all. Like so, okay? See that? And I can draw with my, like so if I wanted to. Now I can stretch this off the canvas. And that mic is going to pick up. Ooh, put it in the wrong place. Now we're going to do the same with our flowers. I want this here. And I'm going to take my paper and let that be a bloom. Y'all, pour some here, okay? Just take the very tip. And this is a bloom off of, and I can cover any of the stuff that I don't like. I can wipe my stick off, and if I want more design, say that's another little bud out there. If you want to make them circle around, like so, you can do whatever you want. And let that be a flower, right? I can go back through, draw some white, right? I can draw some sticks. Like so. And y'all see this mica reacting, right? I want to go up here. Make some more leaves. Maybe I want to leave here. And just let resin do its thing. Right? Let it sit. Let it do its thing. This I can take the there we go. Right? Over here. We'll get the hair off. Again, you can do whatever you want. So I'm showing you this now. And I'm going to show you a different technique in a second. So you see this. I'm not going to leave it like this because I want to show you something different. I can put white. I can put pink for the flowers. I can put some green. I can put some brown. Then I can go in, put this in here, and just drag it. Now, you can also, and this needs to be soaked in vinegar, y'all, but you can also take a comb that has teeth in it, you know, like a man's comb, and you can create designs like so, using this, which today this will be soaked in vinegar because it has a lot of buildup. So that's another way. You can use a comb you put in your hair. You can use a comb that men use. And you see we have selling happening right here. So there's all kind of different things. Now with the pipettes, I wanted to show you. When I use the pipette, I squeeze the air out. So all that I'm sucking up in my pipette is resin, not air. Okay? So I'm gonna wipe, wow y'all, my huskies are blowing their coat, so, and I'm just gonna put a drop, a drop, a drop. And you see we're just making the little pistons for the flower, right? And then I can take, well, let's use this since I don't have my other tools or my other work area. We can take here and just make it a teardrop or like it's connected to something for our little pistons. But that is one way to utilize inspiration, flowers, whatever, and I can do it up here. I'm letting that, and I'm going to use the back of this. So maybe you make like a tulip flower. there. So you get the idea. Now, what I'm gonna do with this other piece is I'm gonna show you, if you can't come up with a theme, you're like, I don't know what I want to use. Make an abstract. And what do I mean by an abstract? I'm gonna slide this over here. Make sure it's solid. Checking my level. That's good. That's good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my colors and I'm just going to put them on this board. No rhyme or reason. And I'm gonna let resin do its thing. In other words, I'm creating an abstract piece. And be careful with white because it can take over your piece. That's why I'm only using it from the stick. I'm gonna use my green. And you're gonna see when this is done that it's gonna complement that picture too. We're gonna add more layers. And now with my yellow, I'm just gonna do this. Okay? Pink. That's it, y'all. Just throw it down on your canvas and let it do its own thing, right? And I'm using this Satori white by Eye Candy because I like the way that it creates cells. Okay? So again, and I'm gonna show y'all a trick real quick. When you're using white and you're doing this kind of pour, you wanna do an opaque white and a transparent white because that adds depth in your piece. And let me show you what I mean. All I'm gonna do, let me move these out of the way so y'all can see. All I'm doing, is this in view? Can you see that? Yes. I'm drizzling this white opaque into this clear, and now watch what happens. It becomes like milky, like a 2% milk. You'll hear me say that all the time for blooms and all that. See how this is transparent? White is like milky. Now, watch when I add it to my piece. I'm gonna put this milky white down, and then I'm gonna put some of this white with it. And then I'm gonna show you how you can really add depth. Move this up here, out of the way. Now, you can tilt these. See how resin is running? It stretches those colors out and creates beautiful. See that little feathering? And it's stretching that white out and where all that milky clear is. And I'm just gonna go around the sides of this so it's all mixed and coated so it can flow off. So when I tell you guys, if you have something that you need to sand down to fix an error on something and that you just dip your finger in resin and smooth over it, that's what I mean. Now I'm leaving that piece like it is. I'm not doing anything else. I do have to change my gloves because I put my fingers all in that resin. But put some more gloves on and I'm gonna show you, we can stretch this the same way. Ooh, y'all. So you create like an abstract piece. It's flowing, it's doing its own thing. Now, I'm gonna lift this so I'm gonna tilt it with this glove hand. I'm gonna tilt it back. See it moving? Flowing down, stretching out. We can move it this way. We can move it this way and back toward the top. And set it down again. That's what I mean. And I really like this green. So I'm gonna add some more green in here because I like the way that green. And I'm just gonna wiggle the line. I love the way the shimmer and the mica is doing. And like I said, you can draw designs however you want in your piece. And we can add a little white to outline it. Draw some white in there to give it a little texture and depth. Just curl it around like so. And you can give your flowers a little more definition that way. So that gives y'all some ideas of how to fix things, and this white might even bloom some. So there we go. Maybe we want to add some white to show like veining through some of those leaves. Okay, so I'm gonna let it be. That's it, y'all. That's what you have. You go back, pop your bubbles, and adding that heat is also going to let that white cell up even more. So you're gonna have cells and lacing. With that white, I'm just gonna hit it with some more heat. Be careful not to add too much heat because you can burn your resin. So that's it. That's what we have, y'all, as inspiration from a snapshot to this and to this. You can just simply pour an abstract using the colors that you pull from the four corners of that picture, and it's gonna be beautiful. So leave me a comment, tell me, what do you think? Is this a great fix for any artist block that you may have? Are you gonna use this now to pull inspiration? And challenge yourself. Grab a picture and say, I'm only gonna use what's in this picture. Those are the only colors I can use, and I'm gonna see what I can come up with. It's great fun, y'all. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just do it, right? Pull a Nike, just do it. But that's all we have for this one, y'all. I am so excited to reveal this for you and show you how you can make different art pieces from the same inspirational picture. So that's it, y'all. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. Give this a thumbs up so other artists can find this who may be struggling too. Subscribe to the channel. That doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps. It's like a thank you because my videos are not sponsored. I pay for all the material. This is all on me. So that subscription is a thank you to me. But y'all, until next time, do all the YouTube things and happy arting. Ta-ta for now.